Parallel lines are two lines technically on the same plane. Okay, that's geometry a little bit for you, but they have to be on the same surface and they never intersect. Okay, so parallel lines. Go ahead and draw me two parallel lines, and they don't have to go vertically. They can go diagonally or they can go horizontally. But draw me two parallel lines. They're not perfect, but I think they get the point across. Parallel lines. So these are parallel. And what does it mean to be perpendicular? Perpendicular? Perpendicular, yep. Like this. What does that mean? So that's good. They intersect. I guess they could. Yep. What does that mean? Yep, Carl.
Two lines that meet each other.
Two lines that meet where?
Two lines that meet either in the center or on the left.
Okay, there are two lines that meet, but they meet in a special way because a lot of lines are going to meet. But how do they meet? Yeah. Two lines that meet. I'm going to do it a little bit differently because I don't want your eyes to get so used to only seeing it one way. But two lines that intersect at a 90-degree angle. Okay? They intersect at a 90-degree angle or a right angle. Those are perpendicular. Now, perpendicular and parallel are not always the easiest words to spell. I get that. All of you will spell them correctly, mainly because in the instructions I will say right parallel or perpendicular, and I'll spell it out for you. There's no excuse why any of you cannot get it right. So please don't botch. If I said right now spell parallel, and you look Parellel. Did you read that? Well, no. Read it and write it the right way. And perpendicular a little bit harder, but it's right there. So I'm not gonna give you a vocab or a spelling test, but spell it right. Did I spell it right? Okay, yes, I did. All right. Okay, let's look at these actually with what we've looked at so far. So draw me a coordinate plane. This one, don't make it small. Please do not make it small. It's going to ruin your diagram. It's going to make it's going to be hard to see what we're looking at. So draw it maybe twice as big as your normal graphs. That's what I would say, twice as big. That's not like this. That's not the whole paper. That's just like maybe at the most a quarter of the paper. Yeah, a quarter of the paper. Maybe too big, but not too big. That's fine. Okay. Let's go 4 out, but don't make the spaces too small. So like
when it's that big.
Yeah. So you go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. 1, 2, 3. That's okay. I'm trying to avoid making it too small, and then you're like, I don't even know what he's talking about because there's so much going on. So you can make graphs bigger, smaller, based on your application. I would say make them a little bit bigger. Your quizzes, by the way, they're halfway done. Halfway done. Almost done. I hope to get them done by today before I leave.
And then it's 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later?
Yeah,
wow. Okay, so I have a lot of time to get them done, according to CT. Okay. So I want you to put these 2 points up there and connect them with the line. Here we go. 0, 2. Put 0, 2 up there. 0, 2. Then put -1, -1. -1, -1. And connect those with a dot, please, or with a line. Connect those dots with the line. Okay. Guys, I want to review the last lesson. So what I want you to do with that line is I want you to get that equation of that line in slope-intercept form. So I need first the slope, and I need the y-intercept. Can you do that for me? Figure it out. I want the slope and the y-intercept of this first line. We're going to do another one on there. So I'm going to call this line, we're going to call it A, so that you know Some of you asked me on the quiz, Mr. Ray, there are two lines. What do I do? Should I name them? Yeah, you can name them. A.
It's named after you.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, I'm looking for the slope of line A. M sub A, slope sub A. So I want to find the first one. We're not going to move fast. If you want to make a joke out of everything I say, I'm right. Go, go, go. All right, the slope is going to be positive, right? You understand it's positive? It's up 3 over 1. So what's the slope? 3. And the y-intercept of the A graph, the y-intercept of the A graph is? 2. Yeah, positive 2. It hits the y-axis at positive 2. So can you get in slope-intercept form? Y equals 3x plus 2. I'm going to circle that because I'm going to use that. That's the first line. You guys got it? Okay with that? So you're going to have to do that. This is a review of previous lessons, but that'll help us to get this down. All right, I'll go with yellow. Green. I haven't done yellow one. Put these points on the. You can do it with a different color, or if you can keep track, that's fine. I just want to do a different color for today. Put a point at 0, -4. 0, -4. Put a point on there. 0, -4. This is a separate line. 0, -4. You can name it Z. Then put another point at. Let's go with 1, -1. 1, -1. 1, -1. Then connect those two lines, connect those 2 points with a line, and we'll go with Z. You can call it line Z.
Yeah.
And it should look like that. Okay. I'm not helping you one bit. I want you to find the slope-intercept form of line Z. So find slope-intercept form of line Z. So what 2 things do you need? Slope and y-intercept. All right, I'm looking at the graphs. I want to see how you did with your graphs. What do most of you think these 2 lines are? What kind of lines are they?
Meter.
Parallel.
Right.
They should be parallel. If they're not parallel, if they're like, oh, they're going to intersect very soon or somewhere down there, that probably means your graph is a little skewed. That means your tick marks are not spaced evenly. Something went wrong. I want to look at those because I want to help you out with that later. Okay, slope-intercept form. Who got it? Y equals, let's see what you get. Ben?
3x plus 1.
3x. I got 3x. That's good. What's the y-intercept?
1.
So 1 would be right here on the y-axis. So I think you were looking maybe at this. But I want to look at the y-intercept. So where's across the y-axis, everyone? -4. So that means it's -4. That's your slope-intercept form for the second line. How many of you are good with that? Like you got both of them? And if you didn't get it, you understand how you could get it next time. These 2 lines are parallel. Is that correct? Now, my graph, if you got a ruler and you measured the distance here, it'd probably be different here than it is here. So they wouldn't technically be parallel, but I know that these 2 lines are parallel. They have to be based on one specific piece of info. And it makes it where if I graphed it perfectly, there's no doubt they'd be parallel. What is that specific part that I'm referring to that tells me that these lines are parallel? They must be parallel because of this. I got 5 of you, 6 of you. Just raise your hand. He will never call on me. I'm going to go with CT.
The slope is the same.
Okay, guys. Write this down. This is an important note. Parallel lines have the same slope. Oh, the same slope. I will put the M in parentheses. Parallel lines always have the same slope. Always, 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 always. You know what that means to me? If I did this, I erased that whole graph. It's gone. Graph is gone. And I just saw the slope-intercept form, and I noticed the slopes, I automatically know that these two lines have to be parallel. No matter what, they got to be parallel. Why? Because they have the same slope. Okay? All right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go back to our color. Maybe this? Yay. Okay. Do another graph about the same size. If you need to flip the page, that's cool.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and we're going to put two new lines up there and then find out some information about that. 0, 2 is your first point. 0, 2. Oh, sorry, go 4. Same size. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0, 2, 0, 2. That's your first point. And second point on that line, 4, 0. 4, 0. Connect them with a line. Try to be, you don't have to use a ruler, but don't be so sloppy as to not come even close to connecting those in a proper line. My hand is not the steadiest. It is not an artistic hand, but I can try to draw a straight line and get pretty close. It's not because I'm great, it's because I take my time. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Review time. 2 lessons ago. Danny, what's the x-intercept?
4, 0.
4, 0, right here. What's the y-intercept? Violet, what's the y-intercept? 0, 2. Okay, they gave me those intercepts. All right, this is what I want you to do. Guess what, Olivia? You're going to give me slope-intercept form for that line after all of you work it out. Go ahead, slope-intercept form. But Olivia will give it to me. Or somebody else. Okay, so slope-intercept form of that line. And we're going to call this line B. Yes. It is B. So see how many of you guys are getting a little bit better finding a slope? How many of you are more comfortable or confident finding a y-intercept? How many of you realize that took practice? Okay, fine. You should raise your hand because that's the case. I didn't know that. Now you know it. It's funny, guys, and I'll tell you this will be throughout math and maybe throughout a lot of different subjects too. The first time you're introduced to something, you don't always get it. When I was taught math classes, high school, college, the first time the teacher brought something up, put something up on the board brand new, I didn't go, I get it. Thank you for that. That was awesome. Now I can do 10 problems on that. He went through it over. She went through it again and again and again. Got it. Again, sometimes and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Quiz. And again. Got it. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Quiz. And again, and again, and again. Test. And again. Oh, next chapter, I got it. Oh, I finally got it. It takes time. Don't feel bad if you don't get it the first time. I want slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. So you went down 2 over 4, which is negative 1/2. Okay, how many of you got that slope-intercept form? Okay, good. That's okay. We'll try it again. I'm going to circle it again. Now, I am not drawing another parallel line up here.
Yes, I did.
I'm not drawing another parallel line. Guess what I'm going to draw? A perpendicular line. All right, you're like, how do you do that? Okay, here are 2 more points. I'll go with a different color again.
Yay.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. 0, -1. 0, -1. Put a point at 0, -1. Oh. Didn't do what I thought.
Do like the lightest blue ever.
Do it extremely dark.
Oh, I like purple.
Light
purple.
No,
light purple.
dark
Yes,
blue.
right there.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's a pink.
Yeah.
Cotton candy.
I like that.
Cotton candy.
That's not cotton candy.
Your second point. 2, 3. 2, 3.
Well, this is big.
2, 3. All right. And then connect them with the line. Do your best to make it a straight line crossing through those 2 points. Oh, man. I look at mine. I'm like, ah. My proportion is not great, but it's. I'll do it. Oh, we'll call it line F. Let's try that again.
It's gonna be E.
F. Line F. Okay. Ethan, you will get this for me in slope-intercept form. You have a little bit of time. Don't say it. Go ahead and work on it, guys. Get slope-intercept form for line F. Okay. What you're doing is you're finding your slope, your y-intercept, putting it in slope-intercept form. Okay, I'm going to give you, well, I'll let Ethan give me the answer and then we'll check your guys. Hopefully you're good. Okay, yes, sir?
Y equals 2x minus 1.
Y equals 2x minus 1. So the slope is 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1, 2. That's good. And the y-intercept is -1. So I'm okay with that. Slope-intercept form. Yes, ma'am?
Let's say you put 2 over 1 with x minus 1. Would that be correct?
It is technically correct, but it's not as simple as can be. So 2 is simpler.
Would if I put that on a quiz, would that be wrong?
I did not mark that wrong on your quiz.
Nah, I didn't do that on a quiz, but I'm saying hypothetically.
Right.
Just hypothetically.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't mark it. I didn't mark it if you put 2 over 1, or even if you did -2 over -1. I let that go. So I want you to get the idea. Rise or run. But anyway, on the test, I might. Quiz, no way.
Like, would it be like -1?
-1.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, listen up. These 2 lines are perpendicular. Not because you would measure it and make a right angle. It's not a right angle. My proportions are not great. But I know it because of this fact. This one's a little bit harder to see. Remember, with parallel lines, you have the same slope. Do you guys remember that? Parallel lines have the exact same slope. Are these parallel lines? No. But I'm saying they're perpendicular because of this fact. Perpendicular. Write this down. This is an important note, and then I'll explain it. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are, and here's the key phrase, and we're going to get into it more, negative reciprocals. Did not spell that. Negative reciprocals. No, I haven't even explained it yet. All right, here we go, guys. Let's look at the slopes. Oh, this is not going to go well. When you do this on your homework, you're going to be very confused. All right, but that's on you. All right, I'm going to write this in white here so you can see very clearly. All right, what's the slope of the first line? Negative 1/2. What's the slope of the second line? 2/1. Yeah, and I'm going to accept that here because I want to do something with those two numbers. I want to understand that, do you see how they're reciprocals with the fractional part? You see the reciprocal part? And then the negative reciprocal means that they have opposite signs. So from negative 1/2 to positive 2/1. Those are negative reciprocals. And the definition of negative reciprocal is simply this. If you multiply negative reciprocals together, you're always going to get negative 1. So 1 comes up, but this time it's negative version, and that is correct. So I'm going to give you some examples if you could identify negative reciprocals. All right, let's go with this. 4, okay? Write 4 as a fraction. 4/1. Okay, can anyone maybe guess what the negative reciprocal of 4 is? What's the negative reciprocal of 4? Maren? Negative 1/4. Because these two numbers get me a negative 1. When I multiply them together, I get negative 1. That's how I know they're negative. They must be negative reciprocals. All right, who can give me the negative reciprocal of negative 3/2? What's the negative reciprocal of negative 3/2? Hannah? Positive 2/3. Because when I multiply them together, what should I get? Negative 1. All right, here we go. Marshall. Are these two, negative 4 and positive 1/4, are they negative reciprocals? How do I know that they have to be negative reciprocals other than doing this in my mind? They have to do this mathematically. Yes, sir? Yeah, when you multiply, what do I get? Negative 1. Okay, you guys get that? All right, I'm going to give you the ultimate toughest negative reciprocal pair possibility, and you have to say yes or no. Don't say it out loud, please. Ready? What is the negative reciprocal of 0?
The bridge.
Oh, no, I didn't draw. I'm just drawing. I drew it. Oh, my. Negative reciprocal of 0. Okay, CT.
0.
All right, so you're saying that 0 times 0 equals negative 1? No, that doesn't work. That's okay. That's all right, yeah. That happens. All right, give me the negative reciprocal, though, of 0.
1/0.
1/0, okay. 1/0. So 0 times 1/0 equals negative 1? No, sorry.
No.
Try again.
27 million.
Huh? Sorry, huh, and then huh? Okay. If I had a line that had a slope of 0, some of you aren't even listening, you're not going to get this. If I had a line that had a slope of 0, just sketch this real quick. So here's your coordinate plane. A line that had a slope of 0 would be a horizontal line, correct? All horizontal lines have what slope? 0. So what line would be perpendicular to that line? A vertical line. Any vertical line would make a right angle. So, special case, breaking news. 0, if you have a slope of 0 and you have an undefined slope, what kind of lines are you going to get? Perpendicular, special perpendicular lines. How does that work? Okay. Yeah. All right, here's what you're going to do on your homework, so please listen up so you're not confused. Write these two down. Y equals 2x plus 1 and 5y equals 10x minus 5. 10x minus 5. Okay. This is not. This is like homework. So I'm going to do 2 problems and give you your homework. All right. Thankfully, I'm not, and I'll make sure I say this correctly, I am not making you graph anything. So you're just going to answer a simple question. The question for these two is, are these 2 lines, they're 2 lines, are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Okay, if they're parallel, what do I know about the slopes? They're exactly the same. If they're perpendicular, the slopes are negative reciprocals. And if they're not exactly the same and they're not negative reciprocals, then you would say neither. They're just lines that intersect, but they're not special. Okay, so guess what you have to do on these problems? All you have to do is this. Find the slope of each line. What's the slope of this line? You're like, I don't know. Is it in slope-intercept form?
Yes.
So the slope of this line is 2. So I'm just circling that so I can refer to it. Now look at the bottom line. Is it in slope-intercept form? Can you get it in slope-intercept form? What would you do to get that bottom line in slope-intercept form? Divide everything by 5. Everyone should be doing this because I'm trying to give you practice. Everything gets divided by 5. That ends up y equals 2x minus 1. Is that slope-intercept form? Yes. Do I have a slope now very clearly stated? M equals 2. These 2 slopes, are they the exact same, negative reciprocals, or neither one of those? They're the exact same, so you would say the answer, parallel. Mr. A, I don't know how to spell parallel. Good. It's written in the book for you. Parallel. Okay, yes.
Parallel, can we just like para? Or pair?
Next example.
Why can't you right? It's like, it's like get out of it. Just like
All right. Next problem. I'm going to wait till you guys are done before I give you the homework. Okay, here's the last problem I'll give to you. This is what you're going to be doing your homework. So, y equals... Oh my. It's really not that hard. Let me just do this one with you. Y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Minus 3. And then x plus 3y. X plus 3y equals negative 3. All right.
oh, it's so easy.
Okay. Can you find the slope of this first line?
Yeah, it's 1/3.
Okay, it's just 1/3. So sometimes they give you the slope right away. Sometimes you have to find it out. That's your first slope. This one, they did not give you the slope, but can I get it in slope-intercept form? Yeah, it's the same thing you did last night. So first I subtract 1x, and you can do it like that. Yep, subtract 1x. This is review. This is why we did this yesterday. I get 3y equals negative 1x minus 3. So 3y equals negative 1x minus 3. And then I divide everything by 3. And I end up with y equals negative 1/3 x minus 1. Negative 1/3 x, and then it's minus 1. Okay, what's the slope of that line? Negative 1/3. Oh, that means they are?
Perpendicular.
Neither.
Perpendicular.
Well, what if the slope's the exact opposite?
Okay, if they're opposites like that, are they exactly the same?
Yeah.
Are they negative reciprocals of each other?
No.
So you put the word neither. They're neither. They're just going to intersect, but not in a special way. That's what you put. If they were the same, parallel. If they're negative reciprocals, perpendicular. If they're neither, neither. Okay, here's your homework. It's just a few problems. 9 through 14 all. That's 6 problems. One of them's done for you. 5 problems. Page 189.
189.
9 through 14 all. 9 through 14 all. Page 189. Tell me if they're perpendicular, parallel, or neither. Numbers 9 through 14 all. Page 189. 189. 9 through 14 all. Yeah, page 189. All right, guys, you're dismissed. Bye-bye. Oh.